In this scenario, we go back into tribal times, and we have one large group who understands somewhat modernity. Feel free to put them in whatever year you want, with whatever technology you want, but all of that is up for interpretation. Here we go. In Central Africa, a group of people sailed down the Congo River, expanding their empire and looking for a perfect spot for their capital. They soon reached the basin on the western African coast and set up their capital, Simboria, and naming their newfound country the same. Slowly, Simboria expands, conquering more territory as its population exponentially grows. They continue to send out large expedition forces until one doesn't come back. Soon, the king sails up the river with a small group of men, but he doesn't return either, sending the kingdom into chaos. After thousands of years, two leaders come out on top, Srasta, who wants to continue to expand, and Marastro, who wants to stop expanding and focus internally. The two leaders come to a peace agreement, splitting the empire in half. Srasta takes the north, alongside the city of Simboria, and Marastro takes the south, naming his new kingdom Vertalia. Back up the Congo River, the previous king and over 10,000 of his people had settled against the Congo River through the Luau, and eventually through two lakes until they reached Zambia, creating their new country of Xanador. The new settlers of Xanador struggled to organize themselves and their farming, leading to massive starvation. The people of Xanador started to turn against the king, who continues to ignore the problem and focus on expeditions and expansion. One of these expedition groups abandoned the king and went to Lake Malawi. News of this group and their surplus food spread throughout the known world, and soon people began flocking to the new country, which envelops the entire lake and calls themselves Malawia. After over a quarter of Xanador's population leaves to join the growing nation of Malawia, the king declares war, hoping to seize the land and the people. In a turn of events, Malawi defeats the king and usurps the throne, with the king of Malawia instating his brother to the throne, who attempts to fix the kingdom of Xanador. He forces thousands into agriculture, which leads to a brutal civil war decimating the country. To the east of Malawi lies the kingdom of Uradus, founded by 5 nomadic tribes combining into a massive federation. Uradus quickly became known for its skilled farmers who produced massive harvests year after year. The kingdom's wealth and prosperity attracted traders from far and wide. Along the banks of the Niger River lies the kingdom of Nigeria. Nigeria is a land of great diversity with a similar founding story to Uradus. The kingdom is a hub of trade and commerce, with merchants from distant lands flocking to its bustling markets. However, Nigeria's wealth has also attracted the attention of tribes, who seek to exploit its riches for their own gain through near-daily raids. To protect itself from external threats, Nigeria built a massive army. After Simboria's continuous expansion, they get attacked over and over by a massive coalition of natives, attempting to prevent the expansion into their territory. After months of brutal guerrilla warfare, the two sides come to a peace agreement, limiting the expansion of Simboria and establishing the kingdom of Brazza. Back east, the kingdoms of Xanador and Malawia come to an agreement on a border, allowing them to trade more easily. Xanador also attempts to set large colonies all across the Congo River, attempting to make travel to the western coast easier. A few days after the defeat of Simboria, Marastro, the leader of Vertalia, is assassinated, which they blame on the kingdom of Simboria, ushering the two opposing nations into a full-on war. Thanks to Vertalia's extreme wealth, they were able to push out the massive Simboria crushing down on them, but they couldn't hold for long. After a few weeks of fighting, Simboria annexes a small part of Vertalia. In order to counteract them, Malawi signs a mutual defense pact with Vertalia. In West Africa, Nigeria's enemy tribes break through into the capital, assassinating the king. The kingdom is torn apart with a power struggle in the east and west, while the tribes control the center, splitting the kingdom into 3. The western part claims the title of Nigeria, the center becomes Raventia, and the easternmost part and most powerful part calls itself Iridian. After the rebellion in the tribe-held territory, the center is taken back over by the civilians who instate a new king. the former territories, unable to fully reunite, decide to form a semi-union, keeping all heads of state in their names while integrating a centralized economy, ideology, and a military defense pact to protect against the tribes. This semi-union is called the Kingdom of Iridion, Raventia, and Nigoria. Back in the Congo, Xanadu continues attempting to colonize the region. However, their largest colony is overtaken by natives, who convert it into a country called Luleka, who soon takes over more colonies and stabilizes the region. The growing powers of Italia and Malawi, worried about a potential blockade by Lueka, send diplomats. However, Lueka quickly responds, relieving both states. That concludes part 1. Put anything you want to happen next in the comments, and it might. Thanks for watching.